The scariest sea monster in history wasn't a myth, it was filmed. In 2019, scientists in the Gulf of Mexico captured a living giant squid surging out of the dark toward a camera lure, proof that a kraken-scale animal exists in modern seas. But is that the same beast that yanked ships under in old maps and sagas? From Leviathan to the Bloop, we'll reveal how truth, terror, and bad data built the 7 deadliest legends at sea, and why a few still refuse to die. The first sea monster in our list is the kraken. Its most shocking claim? Sailors described a back so vast it passed for a low island before the island unfurled arms and dragged ships under. The kraken's earliest iconography sits beside other horrors on Olaus Magnus's Carta Marina, 1539, a Renaissance map peppered with keyed sea beasts that warned mariners rather than decorated margins. In the 1750s, Bishop Erik Pontoppidan's Natural History of Norway amplified the legend with details about boiling seas and ink-darkened water. The best modern window into the kraken is the giant squid. The species Architeuthis reaches lengths over 10 meters and carries dinner plate eyes, evolution's night vision headlights. The first wild images came from Japanese researchers in 2004. The animal attacked a bait line and left a severed, DNA-confirmed tentacle behind. Most scientists read the kraken as rare encounters, decayed carcasses, and storm fear filtered through storytelling. Still, the idea that a floating island could move made the legend unforgettable. If the kraken was fiction, its shadow wasn't. Because in 2004, the camera finally blinked first. The second one is the giant squid. The shocker here isn't myth, it's film. In 2019, a NOAA-supported team recorded a living giant squid in the Gulf of Mexico. First ever footage in US waters, the animal surging toward an electronic lure before veering off. Earlier, in 2004, Tsunemi Kubodera's team photographed one in the wild. Recovery of a snapped tentacle confirmed the ID and scale physically. Architeuthis can stretch past 13 meters tip to tip. Those eyes, up to 25-30 centimeter, are literal dinner plates, tuned to catch faint glows and detect hunting sperm whales. The body's 8 arms and 2 longer feeding tentacles create the classic kraken silhouette. Science says these are deep-sea ambush predators, widespread but rarely seen. When carcasses bloat or rot, proportions distort, turning an already huge animal into something monstrous. The story most sailors never got is this: a real kraken-scale creature lives out there. We just didn't catch it on camera until this century. Tentacles aren't the only nightmare shape. Teeth can write legends too. Next up is Megalodon, a prehistoric shark large enough, upwards of 15-18 meters, to bite through whalebone and swallow chunks the size of bathtubs. RF-8. Sailors didn't meet it, but its fossil teeth did wash ashore for millennia. Misread as tungstones before early science corrected the record. What we know: Otodus, often historically called Carcaricles, Megalodon prowled global seas. Roughly 23 to 3.6 million years ago, its teeth, as big as a human hand, stack into a jaw that dwarfs a great white's. Modeling and isotopes point to warm, coastal nurseries and a top predator diet of marine mammals. A key debate, when it vanished, leans on US fossil layers and climate shifts. Current evidence places extinction by about 3.6 million years ago. Well before humans took to ships, the science undercuts modern sightings, but explains the fear. Hold one fossil tooth and your brain fills the gaps. That's how scale writes myths. Roll the clock back further, when reptiles, not sharks, owned the waves. Number 4 on our list, Mosasaurus. Imagine a marine reptile stretching towards 17 meters, a muscular body with paddle limbs, hinged jaws, and a tail built for brutal acceleration. Late Cretaceous predators weren't dinosaurs. They were closer to monitor lizards, evolved for water. Fossils show a menu of fish, ammonites, and other reptiles. Some species were porpoise-sized, but the largest, Mosasaurus hoffmanni, hit about 56 feet, rivaling smaller buses in length to a human eye. That skull reads sea dragon. In the modern ocean, there's no mosasaur, only narratives they helped seed. Sea dragons, leviathans, and maps that tried to warn sailors where knowledge ended and fear began. The scientific consensus is clear: extinct, spectacular, and instructive. Prehistory primes the mind for monsters. Giant jaws inspire giant metaphors, none bigger than Leviathan. The 5th creature we'll explore is Leviathan. In the Book of Job, Leviathan is the untamable sea beast. In Isaiah, a coiling serpent, symbol of enemies and chaos. This isn't a field report. It's a theological thunderhead. Imagery so fierce that later readers mistook metaphor for zoology. Descriptions: fire breath, Impenetrable scales are poetic hyperbole, but they likely draw from real animals known to the region. Large crocodiles, whales, or sprawling oarfish glimpsed and magnified by fear. Scholars note similar sea dragon motifs across the ancient Near East, showing that cultures rhyme even when creatures don't. Scientifically, there's no species Leviathan behind scripture. There's a lens on human minds meeting a dangerous sea. Yet the name still frames power, states, corporations, storms, because the symbol speaks a truth biology alone can't. From the Mediterranean scripture to Japan's moonlit fishing grounds. Moving to number 6, Umibōzu, the shocker. Edo period tales say a bald, black head rises from a glass-calm sea, demands a barrel, and drowns sailors by ladling water into the boat, foiled only by handing it a bottomless tub. The image is eerie precisely because it feels half-human. Accounts across, Japan place Umibōzu in fair weather that flips to chaos as it appears. Sizes range from human height to towering figures that snap ships. Variants link it to spirits of drowned priests, which explains the monk look and the taboo-tinged dread in fishermen's lore. What could be happening? Science points to rogue waves, squall lines that explode from still air, and optical mirages that make swells look like rising heads at night. Psychology handles the rest. When peril has a face, people remember the rules. Offer the barrel, survive the story. Ref 16. No lab has tested a bottomless ladle, but the legend persists because it's a survival algorithm disguised as a ghost. And then the ocean spoke on tape, except it wasn't a voice at all. The 7th entry is the Bloop. In 1997, hydrophones across the Pacific recorded a colossal, ultra-low sound, powerful enough to travel thousands of kilometers. The internet crowned it a monster call. But analysis over the following years matched its frequency-time pattern to ice quakes, Antarctic ice cracking, calving, and grinding the seafloor. NOAA identifies the Bloop as non-biological. Recordings from the Southern Ocean show nearly identical signatures to known ice events. In short, our ears were fooled by playback speed and expectation. Big noise, big animal. This isn't a debunk to deflate wonder. It's a reminder that oceans are loud with geology. The Southern Ocean produces tens of thousands of ice quakes annually. Some carry for 5,000 kilometers. The mystery didn't die. It evolved from monster to mechanism. And that evolution tells you how sea legends work. A real phenomenon, an incomplete explanation, a story that grabs the wheel. Callback. The sea still has eyes, but our tools and our biases decide what we think they see. We began with a warning. The ocean can trick you. Giant squid prove a kraken-scale hunter exists. Fossils prove seas once held reptiles and super sharks beyond modern experience. Scripture proves monsters can be metaphors powerful enough to outlive empires. And the Bloop proves that sound alone can forge a legend, until a clearer model snaps it into place. Bigger picture. We mapped myths onto tides because vastness demands a story. But exploration keeps rewriting the script. Each year, we catch new species on camera and match strange signals to physical causes. The unknown shrinks, and somehow the wonder doesn't. Your turn. Which creature felt most plausible to you? And which explanation changed your mind? If you like evidence-driven deep dives into myth and science, consider subscribing for the next investigation. Final line. In the dark below the keel, truth is scarier than myth. Because sometimes it reaches out and touches the camera.